let's kick off with this one then.
So this was Paris, you know, the riots at the start of the year.
Yeah.
It started with, okay, they're going to, you know, put the retirement age up, but it was like a lot more than that. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Everyone was like, oh, the French don't want to work. But, it, you know, it weren't that. It was a lot more to it. But yeah, we covered those riots.
Made a doc about it, right?
Yeah, we made a doc about it. And it was really good, actually, because we got really good access to the people actually kind of engaged in the most extreme stuff, the actual rioting. Because a lot of people just protesting normal, which is what we like to do, because you can't get a better idea of why there's a riot happening if you're not speaking to the people actually doing it. Do you know what I mean? So we did that. But this what I'm wearing here is the jeans, yeah, are actually funny. Like, I've got like legs, like my thighs are like Beyonce's thighs, mate.
I've seen it, man.
I've got very thick thighs, but then I don't like my trousers to be like flappy. I hate baggy and all that, but then I don't want like skinny jeans or anything like that. So I found this company, it was called like Spoke or something like that, and they were like tailored jeans.
Nice.
So I was wearing like, you know, big lad jeans basically, and then even then I had to take it to the tailors because I just hate it. You know, when your jeans flap about, it does my head in.
So I've seen the thighs hanging out the Muay Thai shorts.
Yeah, I've always had thighs like that though. Like when I was a kid, I was into skateboarding, football. I did a lot. So yeah, I guess it just happened like that. And then Lyland Scott jacket. Ralphie hat, which
Ralphie
I wear
cap,
all the
man.
time, yeah.
Like, a lot of videos I've seen you with the Ralphie simple logo, red cap on. It's something that's tried and tested and fits your head well. And
fits good. I've got quite a big head. It don't really, you know what I mean? It's all right, and it's just, I've always like on and off worn a cap for my whole life. My hair's just like, I hate my hair, do you know what I mean? So I know it don't really do nothing, it just sits there, but...
Thanks for not wearing them on today, man. It would have made light.
Yeah, no, that's right, yeah. And then these Reeboks are like, they're a bit like, I can't remember what they're called, they're a bit like nylons, but they're like...
Classics?
No, they're like a really weird like Z9X or something like that.
Yeah.
Like if we're doing riot stuff, normally I'll wear TNs because they're just so good at like, sounds dumb, but like they're gripping and you know, I like my shoes to be like, feel like my feet are getting strangled, do you know what I mean? I even wear my shoes a little bit too small. Specifically if you're doing something like this, you don't want like, you know, any slip or anything like that. For whatever reason, I didn't bring them that day, but yeah.
So you're in 95s today. I've just literally yesterday bought my first ever pair of TNs.
Really?
I've always considered them to be not quite me. They are a super grippy fit, man.
Yeah.
Feet feel aggressive, I mean? Like all black with gum soles.
Yeah, they're the new ones, aren't they? Yeah.
There was a offer on the Nike website. We got like 25% off or something. So I got them for a bit less than the exorbitant price that they were asking for. But yeah, TNs feel like bad man.
I didn't really like them that much when I was younger because it was like where I'm from is like, I hate the word, but people would describe it as like a very chavvy town. Do you know what I mean? I think that's like a really fucking rude word, but whatever, that's how people would describe it. And there was always like the mix of like that kind of culture and then more streetish culture was coming in a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because we're Midlands, we're East Midlands, but we're like a very specific kind of mix of North and London. Do you know what I mean? Because we're only an hour away from London, hour away from Birmingham. So I think there's always, not that Birmingham's north, but you know what I mean? It's like a very kind of central place. And there was like a mix of like, the TNs were more worn by like lads that were like, you know, doing ecstasy when you were like 12. And then like, we would then be like, we were more into like Air Max 90s because it was like a weird divide almost. Like it wasn't like said, but you know what I mean? And then, so like the town I'm from is like Kettering, which is like the kind of shitty peripheral town to Northampton. And you would only see like 110s. I would only see them when you would see lads from Northampton. Yeah. And I thought like you could only get them in Northampton or something. Like they just didn't sell them in RJD because I guess no one was buying them because they were 110 quid. Do you know what I mean? It was mad. Now they're about, what are they, like 180s that should be called now.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean?
Not quite. Do you know what though? I do think that trainer inflation hasn't quite kept up with other inflation. You know, if you look at how much butter was 20 years ago, it was a lot less than half the price of what it is now.
Yeah.
So, although 180 quid is obviously fucking ridiculous for a pair of trainer, it's not 4x like a lot of the food that we eat.
It depends what you're wearing though.
Yeah.
Like you see some people are like, you know, they're mad Balenciaga sock looking things.
Yeah.
Like if you see them, I think they're about like 700 quid or something.
Yeah, nuts trainers, man.
Come on.
You seen there was a pair that I always laugh at, these Margiela ones that
Do you want these back for I'll drop it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
There was a pair that looked like it was covered in jizz, basically. Did you see him?
Yeah.
Me and my mate Gilligan were calling him the Peter Norths, you know, that porn star that's got famously like capacious balls. It just looked like they'd been like bukkake partied.
Yeah, there's a new I think there's a New Balance type now where it looks the same. Yeah,
bit jizzy.
Yeah, it's like they're like glued, and you're like,
everyone's thinking the same.
Everyone's thinking the same thing. Yeah.
So let me ask you one more question about this one in Paris. Like when you are going to somewhere where you don't quite know who you're going to be speaking to, as when you're covering riots, do the clothes that you choose to wear, have you got like access in mind? Are you thinking I'm going to wear something that the people that I might be speaking to might be able to relate to, that they won't feel alienated by, and that I might be able to get the best journalistic access to?
That's a good question, but not really, because that's how I dress anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I've really been interested in like kind of a mix between like streetwear, casual culture kind of wear. Do you know what I mean? I don't even like football, but I liked the style of it. Do you know more though? Actually, like Eastern European like football culture is actually quite an interesting mix. They like use some of the like British casual culture, but then they mix it in with their own kind of style, which I've like in recent years found really interesting. But no, I mean that's what I'd wear anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm 33. You know, obviously I'm not young, but it's similar kind of, most young lads, we all wear similar kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So really, I mean that I wore that jacket because sometimes I'll think about like, you don't want to wear like a bright orange jacket in a riot because you're sticking out and the police are going to go, he's the camera lad, grab him, he's annoying or whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously if you're talking more heavy like frontline, you're not going to be wearing bright colours.
Yeah.
Although I have done that before by accident. I was like out in I had this white polo shirt on in Iraq, and the lad was like, oh, we can go to the front now. And I was like, what now? Like we weren't meant to. And I was like, all right, let's just go. And then the photo, I'm in like a blue like, you know, bulletproof vest with this bright white T-shirt on.
Basically a big target on you.
Yeah, well, it was some like really snooty reporters at the time were like, you're wearing white on the front. And it was like, yeah, all right. Like, but to be honest, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to get shot, it's not because you're wearing a white shirt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But you don't really want to be wearing like bright orange or like red or anything like that. But no, I wouldn't say it's to get involved with like, to like fit in. Generally, the way I do my work, a lot of people I end up talking to or whatever are kind of aware of styles and stuff like that. Anyway. You know, a lot of underground stuff, a lot of war stuff. Wars are fought by young men. Young men are into fashion. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
man. Yeah. So I guess that question is, you're not thinking about it consciously, but the way that you are, the way you act, the way you live does afford you that kind of access, that connection that other people won't get.
Definitely. And I'll tell you what, 3 times it's happened to me. I've been in like conflict zone, or like urban conflict, and I'll have the same trainers as like the militant lad, and I'm always like, like that, and they're like,
it goes a long way. I love them connections. Yeah, because
they don't expect. I mean, they have maybe some people might have like a different idea of what a reporter is, and they think like suit and tie and shoes. And that's just not. That's like the news person. Do you know what I mean? So people aren't really like. So I guess they just think, oh, he's a reporter, but you know, something in their head goes, oh, he's all right. He's probably all right. Do you know what I mean? And you can tell if someone's dressing up. Like, you know, when you see like undercover cops.
Yeah.
Like everything North Face. You know what I mean? With like very tight like blue jeans.
Yeah.
And you see him at the riot. And they're like, oh, like, and you just, you know, you're with the lads and they're like, him over there. And he's always right, you know what I mean?
You mentioned the muscular thighs before. They're on show on this picture. Just tell us where you're at and what you're wearing and who you're with.
Yeah, so basically there's this really cool punk band called Show Me the Body. They're big in America. Well, they're big all over the place, but they're really big in America. And when we started Popular Front, don't know, they got hold of our music, got hold of our like footage or whatever, and they would just like hit us up and we're like, wow, this is like really cool. We like the ethos, because you know, we're grassroots. Everything we do is independent, and we do have like a kind of almost like a punk mentality to it. Do you know what I mean? Not fashion wise, but like I think, you know, punk's a lot more than just that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we spoke to them and they're really cool guys. And recently they were on tour in the summer in England, and I couldn't make it because I was doing all different stuff. Like I couldn't make it to a show, and they were like, look, we're here. We're not far from the North Ants where I live. And I was like, well, just drove and met them. So we just were hanging out in like this car park in like this kind of horrible like Airbnb like type place. And yeah, man, so we met with them there.
They look like a pretty eclectically dressed
Yeah,
punk band.
yeah.
You've got a skinhead, you've got a long hair, like rocker looking.
Exactly.
Dude, like,
Yeah. Very like you got a very interesting mix there. I love that though. Like I'm you know, I've got my own thing. I think I look good in that, but I'll always see someone else and I'm like, that looks wicked. I would look stupid in it. I can't pull it off.
Yeah.
But I do love seeing all different styles like that. And certainly, like, even like friends growing up, there was a lot of us were like, not in school because you're so narrow-minded and shut off in school, but like afterwards, you just have all different mates dressed all different, and you're not. It's like your clothes become yours and not your scene almost. Do you know what I mean? And I think as well, unfortunately, subcultures have died a bit in Britain, so now it's more individualist anyway. But yeah, I'd done it, to be honest, mate. I think I'd been to the gym that day and hadn't changed.
Yeah.
hadn't changed. I love these TNs, man.
They're fucking sick, them
mate.
ones, man.
They were like...
For the people listening in audio, just describe them for us, colour-wise.
Yeah, so they're like white and then they kind of blend into a blue on the back. They got these little yellow TN bit on the back, and then they got like the white and black sole, the black toe cap. I love them. But I remember seeing them, they were like coming soon. I was like, right, wicked, that's going to get bought by like the bot buyers immediately. Like, you see that new Palace Barber thing recently? They did a collab. And like, I set an alarm, I was like, yeah, it'll be all right. Minute gone, everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Just have these bot buyers. So I thought that's what was going to happen with these TNs. Forgot about them and like went online and like, you know, completely randomly there was like one pair of size 8s left. I was like, that's mine. It's how it's meant to be. But because my feet, man, I've got these weird feet. They're like boomerangs, yeah. Like they're like little kangaroo feet. Like the instep like barely touches the floor.
Right.
So all my trainers just end up a little bit warped, you know what I mean? So I've been trying to wear them not too much.
Yeah, I've been wearing a bit of Adidas recently and I felt that the instep in them doesn't suit my feet.
Same. Like I wear, you know, Spezial. I love them.
Yeah.
But if I run in them, my feet are killing me. Do you know what I mean? I need like the support there. I've got these weird feet.
So my experience of buying these trainers that I think are going to sell out is the same as yours, in that I go on these sites and it says all sold out apart from size 8, and hearing the same story from you, I'm thinking, they fucking had us here, man. They're saying that it's all sold out apart from the size that it knows your shoe is, and so you feel like...
Does that happen to you like that? Yeah.
That's happened to me,
size
man.
8?
These sold out everywhere, and it just said like one left in size 8, one left in size 13, and I felt like it was meant to happen for me.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the people,
it's a thing. The cabal.
Yeah, man. He wants to buy the sick trainers.
yeah. I get this thing as well. Yeah, like I'll see the pair. I'm like absolute whore for trainers, mate.
Yeah.
Like, it's my one thing. Like I love trainers. When I was young, I remember when I first got these Adidas like Astro Turf. First pair of trainers I ever like realised were like cool. Like before that I had like these horrible red Golas, what my mum got me, I remember. And then my grandma got me these Astro Turf Adidas. I'd begged for them. Everyone in school had them obviously, but I wanted to be like that. I was about 6, 7. And I remember just being like, from that day on was just like, I couldn't stop looking at people's shoes. I was like, what's he wearing? Do you know what I mean? And then when I started, I was like into skating for like, about 2-3 years. From about 12 to about 14 kind of age, and not even younger actually. And that was like, I remember I couldn't, man, skate shoes were so expensive. I remember I sold my Game Boy Color to get my first pair of Vans, and my mum was just like, what are you doing? And I was like, I need them. So like, as I've become an adult, I'm like, if I want them, I want them.
Yeah.
But I'll see a pair of trainers and I'm like, oh, they're all right. And then when I find out they're all sold out, I'm like, I want them now.
Yeah.
I think they trick me like that as well. Do you know what I mean?
The scarcity is certainly appealing, isn't
It's annoying though, because you'll see the perfect pair and you're like, why haven't they made more? Like, yeah, it just does my head in.
Hype.
Yeah.
Like, take us up the outfit then. So we're in a bomber jacket, is it?
It's just like a Havington.
Yeah.
It's, I can't remember what. I got, Ben, what is it?
Ben Sherman.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that.
Another brand that's very, very entwined with British subculture.
Definitely, yeah. I think we have some of the best fashion subcultures ever.
Man.
We have.
Iconic.
Mate, honestly. Like, and you go, I've been all over the world doing this job, and you see people, and every so often they'll be like, where are you from? You're like, oh, Britain. And like, mostly it's, oh God, yeah, like we've wrecked half the world. Some people are not happy. But every so often you'd be someone that's like, oh yeah, like punk or whatever, you know, like, oh yeah, I wear this because of the whatever. And you see it influencing things people don't realise as well. Yeah, but this, I've got these, like, these are actually, these are swimming shorts, these Adidas, they're not even shorts.
Okay. You cut the net out, or you?
No way, mate. I'm just like fully in, do you know what I mean?
You don't want to make any slips when the leg lengths
Absolutely,
are
mate.
that.
I mean, imagine Nike and Adidas. I know people are like, you shouldn't do that. Don't care. Like, not involved in that. I'll wear Adidas socks and Nike trainers, no problem. Don't care. And yeah, it's like I've got napigerie. Is that how you say it?
I fucking don't have a clue.
I googled it once and I like found the explanation how to say it on YouTube and it was wrong and I said it to my mate and he was like, I like laughing. So I think
I know the one, but I never.
you know the one, yeah, that and then just normal hat on. I remember that Ben Sherman. When I was like a lot more younger and a lot more broke. I'm still broke, but not as broke. Yeah. I used to just get snide bits, not like fake actually, but like similar. You know, like almost like, you know, that barber we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a real barber. It wasn't like a fake barber, but it was like, you know, the TK Maxx barber or whatever. And I remember like I had like a similar like Paul Sherman, like kind of fake Harrington, all the liner was falling out of it. And I thought one day I'm going to buy the proper one. And then I barely wore it. So yeah, but I was wearing it that.
Because it felt too posh, like.
No. I think I just kind of went off it by that point. It was like one of these things that's almost too symbolic.
But you know, when you buy something that's so like timeless like that, I've got a Aquascutum red bomber with like the kind of their equivalent of Novacek on the inside, and I bought it and wore it to death. Bought it second hand, wore it to death like 7-8 years ago when I was doing a lot of musicy stuff, and then put it away and I got it out again the other day and I thought, do you know what, I'm gonna have another go with this. And I think that kind of style that's not necessarily very trend led and has been around for 30 years, you know, you might put it away and not wear it, but you might get it out again in 5 years.
It's never going to get old, is it?
Yeah, man.
You're never going to put that on and think, I look mental now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas like me bright frigging, literally I have like, used to wear this bright orange Leyland Scott jacket and now I put it on and I'm a bit like, nah, it's not me. Yeah. It's not me anymore, do you know what I mean? But yeah, that and I have a similar thing with like, you know, like the classic like wax barber jacket. I remember I was like, me and my mate Phil, we did a lot of filming together at Vice. And we used to do this, right, he'll kill me for saying this, but we used to do this thing where we used to, like, jokingly, we called it like Fashion Friday.
Right.
Like, you know, taking a mick out of ourselves. And we'd just go Spitalfields. On Friday at Vice, we did fuck all work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we'd spend like, we'd have like 4-hour lunch breaks in Spitalfields just looking at bits we couldn't afford.
Yeah.
And then one day we was at this airport trying on the barber and we both tried it on and I remember it was like chained up, because you know they chain them up sometimes. And I was like, we have to get this. We both got it. And then one night we both came out wearing it. And I was like, oh, flipping hell. Do you know what I mean? But I've got that. And like that, I'll put it in the cupboards. And I'm like, oh, I'm done with that. And then I'll see it again. I'm like, oh, love it. Do you know what I mean? Whack it on.
Timeless, mate.
Yeah. And it's like a little bit smart as well. Like you can still, day to day, mate, I'm dressed like this. I'm wearing shorts, like, all like joggers. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure my neighbours think I'm a drug dealer. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't be bothered to get dressed proper. But it's one of them ones where if you just whack that on, you know, you school run, you look smart enough. Do you know what I mean?
Tell this is a cool picture actually, man. Reverse key lighting.
Face like a slapped ass. What do you mean?
Steely. Looking
I can't help
man.
but frown. Yeah, it's a cool picture. It's a still from a video we were filming.
All right, which one's this from?
So this one of the best docs we've done, man. Frontline Hooligan, which is about the anti-fascist football hooligans.
I did the sound mix for that one, didn't I?
Mad that, mate. And then that is like these anti-fascist hooligans that are now formed a unit to obviously fight the Russian invasion. And we hit them up and they were like, yeah, let's do it. And it was just like a really, really enjoyable film. It was a film about like violence on the surface, but ultimately it was a film about friendship, really. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? By the end of it, it really was. You just see these lads who've formed these like really important connections over 10 years of fighting neo-Nazis in the streets. And now it's like, oh, now you've got to protect your own country sort of thing. So it was a really interesting doc. And we went to this place, Borodanka, and the Russian forces had carried out horrible massacres there. Like there were images of like corpses, you know, with their arms chained behind their backs. They'd been executed, just burnt out and everything. And you could see that building in the background, just completely, everything was scorched. Do you know what I mean? They'd bombed it, they'd burned it. And we went there because this group were one of the first people there when they managed to like fight back and push them back. So we went there and talked to people. Yeah, man. And it was quite emotional because we meet this like elderly woman and she was just saying she spent the whole time there just like she had to hide and, you know, everything she had was gone. That building actually was her son's. He'd opened a restaurant before the war and he just got it. He like always wanted to. War came, got invaded, and now the restaurant's burnt to rubble, basically. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
Seems a bit frivolous to chat about the clothes on the.
I was going to say, I've got a nice Fred Perry on there.
Man, but
I love the Fred Perry shirts though, man. I think they fit really nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love Fred Perry. I think it's such a good brand, man.
Yeah,
I love Fred Perry. Like proper cool, like the cool side of like, I really love, sharp, like skinheads against racial prejudice. So the not racist version of the skinhead culture. And that's just such a big part of like that. And these hooligans actually as well, it was really interesting. They're football hooligans, but they're like punks.
Yeah.
But in a way that only like Ukraine could do. It's hard to explain. They're like half casual, half punk, covered in tattoos, wearing like Fred Perry and not that I was wearing it for them. I always wear this shirt, but yeah, it was just like we really like. As soon as I met them lads, I was like, I know these lads. It's like I've got mates at home that if it was the war in our country, it would be them sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
The active ones.
And they're good lads as well. They're boisterous. They're no decorum, but good people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I really got on with them a lot. Yeah.
So I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that brand a bit later on in the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of the most referenced and storied brands in British subculture, and it's done its part for varying factions with varying political.
See it everywhere still as well.
So yeah, nice one for doing that, man. Cheers.
Cool, man.
My mind is bringing